Well, you caught us here again. It is the weekly Weeb News number 13. That's right, I got the number right just off the top of my head. But anyway, we're back to do this again. And also, I want to remind you guys, it is the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. That's right, if you played the original golden cartridge when it was brand new, well, you're probably going to be getting AARP mail pretty soon. But here's a ye olde Japanese commercial advertising it. I think it's Japanese. Everybody's Asian, so I assume.
Yeah.
Little Michael Jackson mixed in there. Yeah, just style on him. That's right. That's what we get rid of Ganon. Dance moves. But then somebody made this really cute GIF, and I wanted to show you guys this. So here we go. From the top. There's little Link. He's going on in there. He goes inside, but look at the front. Oh, it turns into the dungeon. Take this.
Cute.
So he takes the sword, and he comes back outside, and carves a swastika. No, number 4. But
That's cute for the 40th anniversary.
Yep.
God, I feel so old.
Well, don't worry. You didn't play it when it was brand new.
No,
Because
I
this
played
is what it
Pokemon
looked
when
like.
it was brand new.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't worry. That'll reach its 40th soon enough.
Oh, God.
But this is what it looked like. Brand new. Let's turn it down a little bit here. This is what it looked like for the Famicom. Back when it was on a floppy disk, by the way.
Oh,
this
my
user-
God. Floppy
Yep.
disks. Oh.
Yep. This is what it looked like when you originally bought it for the Famicom floppy disk. This was the first one to allow you to save your progress, by the way, something that would be repeated in the gold cartridge for the NES when that was eventually released.
Oh, my God.
So
Who
you-
remembers floppy disks, though?
Probably not too many people from the ye olde from the modern era, you know? Probably not too many of them.
Oh, God. Just looking at a floppy disk like that just makes you feel really old.
Unfortunately, it is a relic of its time.
Yeah.
But this guy has a pretty cool setup here.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So you got the Adventure of Link 2, which was the sequel to
That's
The
got to be
Legend of
Ocarina
Zelda.
of Time there. I had the gold Majora's Mask cartridge, and then my friend freaking stole it.
Yeah, that's for the N64 right there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And of course, these two NESs. This is the original Legend of Zelda for NES, and then the the sequel, which was the Adventures of Link. The Game Grumps played through this, by the way, if you want to go check out their playthrough of it. But this is a piece of history. Not that its history isn't like it happened and you should collect it because it's neat and fun. This is a piece of history in that after The Legend of Zelda, the gaming that you did on your console was altered forever. The option of being able to save your game hadn't been introduced until the Legend of Zelda game came along. The cartridge itself had an onboard saving mechanism. I don't want to call it a hard drive because we know it wasn't a hard drive, but it had a save disk on it of some type. And you were allowed to save at least one of your progresses in the game and then return to that, which was something that had never been done before. That is an amazing, teeny tiny little piece of history that shapes the way that we're able to play games now.
Yeah, otherwise
So,
we
like-
wouldn't be able to save our games and then be screwed.
Right, and for some players, that's an attraction that you have to go all the way back to the beginning when you screw up. For most of us, it's pretty maddening. So we're thankful that The Legend of Zelda, good old Nintendo, introduced the process of being able to save your progress.
Mm-hmm.
So, meanwhile, on saving your progress, I did want to take your attention to this ye olde relic from the old days of early 2000s Cartoon Network.
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah.
This is about New Jersey. It wasn't about Japan or Tokyo. It was Jersey.
I got family in Jersey.
Did they have a giant robot car?
No, they did not have a giant robot car.
So, Mega XLR was a massive was a massive, I would say, success, but it just
It's
didn't.
a cult classic.
Yeah, it just didn't materialize into merchandise and toys and all that other stuff because it really wasn't built for that. It was a love note to Japanese giant robot action, be it super robots, combining robots, Super Sentai style robots, whatever. It was a love note to Voltron, to Gundam, to G Force, to, of course, Super Sentai, to, of course, just regular old super robots like Mazinger Z. Megas was a ridiculously powered robot that some gamer guy with the ability to turn a wrench decided he was going to just pull out of a junkyard and hook up his convertible to. And what do you know? The convertible was compatible with this space robot from the far distant future. And one of the most amazing things about this is that the story doesn't feel that stupid.
No.
It's executed by two idiots, obviously. Coop and Jamie are the like primary protagonists to this. Kiva's in the background as the mechanic, the heart of the team, if you will. And she's from the future. She built Megas, but she doesn't. The head didn't come through, so their head is the car. But Coop and Jamie are just gigantic idiots that manage to abuse this machine. But the story itself doesn't feel stupid.
No.
It asks you, what would your loser friend that's unemployed on purpose do with a giant robot? And he would use it to do stupid shit with it. And so that was the fun part about, oh, excuse me, I have all my stuff in the way. That was the fun part about Megas XLR is that you just got to experience what your idiot friend would do with a giant robot. Like you and me, we'd save the world. Our idiot friend would make sure that they're the first in line to get the new Slurpee flavor for 2 miles. And then they'd use it to stomp out the DMV. And of course, they'd use it to win a car show. Not save the universe. That was sort of like a secondary effect to having Megas around. And of course, Coop inexplicably had access to just every manner of explosive, laser, bullet launching device, whatever you want to call it, giant gun, little gun, all of it. Megas was so ridiculous that it just defied logic to the point where your brain just stopped asking questions. One of the most famous scenes from it is you'll see a GIF online that says missiles, more missiles, all the missiles. And that's from that show. Coop, however he managed it, every episode, the console of the car that commanded the arsenal of Megas was different. Every episode, it was different. At one point, you'd control the fighting mechanisms of the robot with what would be a PS1 controller, but obviously for copyright reasons, it wasn't. But it's a great show. A lot of people, of course, responded to this. 14,000 likes on this. You guys really did like it. You know, chicks dig giant robot. Somebody had to do some grok monstrosity with this. Somehow 28 people thought that was good. I don't know. I worry about you guys. But as this user points out, we had a really good run here at the beginning of the 2000s. Do you remember the He-Man relaunch?
Are you talking about in the 2000s?
Yeah, the 2000s He-Man.
Yeah, that one. It was part of the relaunch with Thundercats, which I know people loved. The 2000s.
Well, this one, the 2000 Thundercats was like 2006 or 7 or something like that. It was way down the line. This was early 2000s He-Man. It was super duper serious. It was like way super serious, and that's what I loved about it. Is it took the comedic stylings of that early He-Man and swept them out and kept Eternia as like this intense contest between good and evil. But I didn't really get into Generator Rex or the Secret Saturdays. It just seemed
Secret Saturdays was okay. Generator Rex, Secret Saturdays was okay. Generator Rex, I didn't get into.
Yeah, it was a little dull. I just felt it was a little dull. There are people that love it, absolutely. It just felt dull to me. Of course, Ben 10 has had 14 different reboots, so obviously it was a success. But I like the original season that it had. I thought the art style was pretty dynamic and cool, and I don't think they've been able to repeat that since. So.
No, they haven't. Well, the sequel to Ben 10 was good too. The original.
Oh, they were teenagers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, meh.
So if you're wondering, by the way, Miss Nerdigans went out and found us the complete list of stuff coming to Tubi. All right. No, we're not going to list it all. There's quite a bit of stuff here. Okay. We got a show to do.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Like,
yep.
Cartoon Network has gone down the tubes. HBO Max said, screw you, cartoons, Cartoon Network fans. And now Tubi, which is a free streaming platform, is like, you don't want it? All right, we'll take it instead. And it's a free streaming platform. Everyone has lost their mind over it.
Excuse me, the Gatorade just tried to kill me. But anyway, it's finally getting its revenge. But Cartoon Network doesn't have an option. They've been taken off the air. There's no more Cartoon Network as a channel. They don't have a location anymore.
I thought it was still there, but there's like basically nothing but like Teen Titans Go and Adult Swim, essentially.
As far as I know, it's all internet based. But I could be wrong.
I think Cartoon Network is barely alive.
Oh, okay. I thought that the channel went with the building. But either way, they didn't have an option. This is really the only way that they can make any money off of all the library that they have, because Nickelodeon can't own any of this and Disney can't own any of it. So,
well, Looney Tunes went to Turner Classic Movies. I know that. Right. And then I know Cartoon Network's library, I think, went also to MeTV, if I remember correctly. And that was when Boomerang went down.
Now, what's interesting, guys, is that you want to pay attention to this one, is that you're not going to find Megas XLR on that list. All right? Now, we just talked a lot about Megas, but you're not going to find them on the list. And here's why. So here's a comment, a reply to our post about this. And they were explaining, this is from Jody Schaefer, the guy that created this. Think of the guy that created this. And he said, thanks for the shout out. Feels good knowing we weren't completely forgotten. Fun fact, due to internal sales and iTunes, Megas made its money back. How about that? We got the green light for a reboot a few years ago. Then David Zaslav took over Warner Brothers and shut the whole thing down again. Wait, that wasn't a fun fact at all. And that's the reality of what happened to Megas XLR, is that they used it as a tax write-off. So that means they can never make money with it again. They can't even sell it to the original creators. So you're not getting hightail out of this. It's gone forever, guys. It probably won't even ever get a DVD release unless somebody just hacks it and risks going to jail putting it out of their trunk of their car. So if you were lucky to get a physical release of Megas XLR when it was on television, you're a very, very lucky person, because that will never, ever happen again. It's gone for good, guys. Sorry. But one of the things I did want to get into before we started talking about Yoko Taro and what's going on with Evangelion is Gavan Infinity. A lot of people have been talking about Gavan Infinity and how it's not a good replacement for Super Sentai. And I'll just, hopefully this loops. I don't know. Is there control to loop? I don't know. Anyway, this is the eye catch. So as you can see, Gavan Bushido, he has his sad face. He's got a sad emoji. That's how it works. His patron emotion is sadness. And that's how it expresses, sort of like how Gavan's has that angry face with Gavan Infinity has the angry face with the jagged teeth. This guy has like the crying emoji. Yeah, that's what you get with your Chrome Batman, I guess. But anyway, mainly what happened in this episode was a lot of much better choreography, a lot of better line delivery, and it was really clear that the actors had gotten much more comfortable with the characters they were playing. I don't know what happened with episode 1, if it was filmed maybe weeks or so after episode 2 was filmed, maybe weeks after episode 1. I'm not sure, but man, it's night to day different between the two episodes. And of course, Gavan Bushido is an absolute badass. He's the Batman character you'd expect him to be. He is cold, calculating, and at one point, a iron girder, like build the Empire State Building, this iron girder gets thrown at him, and he just lifts the sword up and casually cuts it in half while continuing fighting over here. It was really cool to see the metal just peel around him like that, and he doesn't give any fucks. He's just keeping his fight going on the other side. He was pretty good. I don't think it's because Gavan Bushido made the episode better. I don't think that was. I think it was genuinely the actors just had a much better grasp on what they were doing. Maybe rehearsal just went better. I don't know. But one of the things that really took my breath away about this was the transformation sequence with the robot. I can't show you everything here because, of course, they'll hit us, but I can show you the transformation sequence. I'll 50-50 that. Then I'll tell you about the episode. Let's just walk this back. So what you're seeing here, I just need to set up this thing, is it takes 5 of the Space Police commanders, wherever the central command is, by the way. Gavan Infinity is meant to move through dimensions, so it's unclear how the hell he's talking to Central Command, but they're in a giant space station orbiting the moon in some universe. But it takes 5 of them to sign off on the robot transforming, just so you know. So, like, there's no, we got to bring them together, guys. And in like a flash of lightning, the robot's ready to go. It takes 5 people. Some of them are in the middle of lunch, by the way. They showed this guy who had to like stop his lunch and run to the verification console. Because, like, with his mouth full of coffee, trying to hit the button, like, yeah, they need permission. So it's absolutely not this like bring them together thing, quick transformation. Not even the stuff you see in Transformers. So just so you understand, this was an intensely bureaucratic lead up. Like if you remember those guys in Futurama who loved the bureaucracy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hermes.
Yes.
This is the perfect robot transformation for Hermes, okay?
Oh my God.
I'll just show you what. This guy's at lunch, right? So this guy's at lunch. He's got to go over here. These guys are talking about how important it is. They want to, but look, excuse me. It takes 7. It takes 7 of them to sign off on this robot transforming, okay? So the Supreme Chancellor has to give his thumbs up to it. And that's all, that's these guys. Then, of course, the big guy, I assume that people in Japan know who this actor is and who he's supposed to represent in the Gavan series, but unfortunately, the way Japanese people age, it's very hard for me to tell who this guy is. So, and not being racist, it's just one day, everything, you're like 20 years old until you're like 70, and then for whatever reason, when Japanese people hit 70, it's just boom, they turn into a completely different person. But yeah, so he gives his big thumbs up. He gets the biggest thumbs up here, okay? And then blah, 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 we see the robot transform. So here we go. Gavan has to push it. Giant Saver series is what they have over there. That they're equivalent to Super Sentai. And Giant Saver has a ton of these like obnoxious CGI transformations. But the rest of it's pretty good. It's struck. But so he's jumping through there, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the part where the girder comes through. So I'll just show you that because it's badass. I forgot it was part of this. That's just badass. And it looks so good. Like this giant, this is meant, you're meant to be a teeny tiny little person, by the way, in all of this, okay? So you have this giant space that this central power command station is, this central power station to the enemy fortress is. And I don't know. It just really took my breath away with how cool that looked, with the machine being entered. Oh, by the way, the pistons in the Cosmo Gavarian robot mode apparently matter. So the weird little, I don't know, it can juice itself up or something. I don't know. But like I said, this episode had a lot more energy to it. It was a lot more exciting than episode 1 was. I think episode 1 kind of got bogged down in trying to make sure that everybody understood the stakes or whatever. But in this episode, what we learned was that the Ymorgear can open up portals to this demon space, and that's where everything is folded together, kind of Inception style. And so this demon space is intensely toxic to humans. It's a very corruptive space. So not only do you start to die, but you also turn evil. You can turn into a Baku, or one of the monsters. And so Gavan Infinity and Gavan Bushido managed to apprehend the bad guy at the end of this and bring them back to Gavan Bushido's reality. I'm not really sure what universe it is because they haven't really explained to me yet just how this universe thing is working so far. So, finally, what we did learn is that Gavan Death, there's that, by the way, there's a Gavan Death, just so you know. He's purple and red. But Gavan Death is apparently the one giving the bad guys the Ymorgear and the necessary weaponry to fight the other Gavans. So that's what we learned in episode 2. as I said, it was a lot more exciting, a lot more captivating than episode 1. And, you know, while we're not exactly on the writing room floor, as I've mentioned before with these uh with the Gavan Infinity, is that it was very rushed. You know, they jumped into making Gavan Infinity happen as Gozuger was already airing. So maybe this first episode was the one that they had to really scramble to get started, and episode 2 was a little more relaxed. So we'll have to wait and find out. I am losing my voice. I went out and shoveled, and that was a bad idea. I inhaled too much cold air, and as you know, that can be very bad. So my throat's not liking it. But things that my body does like are the 30th anniversary of Evangelion. We have a lot of information on that today.
Yeah, there's 30th anniversaries. There's Evangelion and Pokemon. And Evangelion, there's the controversy, which is there was an anime that was leaked, and the leakers, Japan has already said, the studio has already said they're going after the leakers like hardcore. They're not fucking around with that in terms of the short. But then there's the good news, which is the new anime that is being done by Yoko Taro, which shocked everybody this morning. Everyone was like, what? Yoko Taro is doing an Evangelion anime? What?
Ta-da!
Yeah, Cloverworks is working with Studio Kara on this one too. So the art animation is going to be beautiful.
Right, and as you know, Yoko Taro has a very he has a unique talent for esotericism and the questioning of existence, existential crises, these
Which
sorts
is
of things.
perfect for Evangelion. Like,
Right.
it fits Evangelion to a T.
Yeah. And again, if he can bring the kind of thinking that the character Emil has, the character that he, of course, wears the head of from the Nier Automata story, that kind of attitude through with this new story, it will probably stand out as one of the best Evangelion since the first.
I got a feeling as long as there's no creative interference and Yoko Taro is just allowed to do his thing, I think you'll probably get a masterpiece out of this.
Taro writing Eva means it will actually be good this time. Well, yeah. It depends on what the studio wants out of him, though. You got to remember that the guy writing this also has to work for the studio that has a certain desire of what they want to accomplish.
Because from what I remember with, I think it was the Nier anime, or was it Nier? Or was it was the other anime that Yoko Taro was working on. Like, I remember hearing that A1 Pictures was just giving him so much hell. Yeah, I think it was Nier. They were giving him so much hell on what they wanted to do, and Yoko Taro just wasn't having any of it. He was just so annoyed with it. So that's why I'm like, they got to make sure, as long as Yoko Taro does not have any creative interference, he's just allowed to do what he wants in terms of writing, then you're going to have something. If there's creative interference to the point where like Yoko Taro is just annoyed, then you're going to have a problem.
And again, this is that balancing act that they have to pull off with this, because Evangelion is one of those things that's another, it's transcended from just being an anime, and it's become not exemplary of Japanese culture, not exemplary of any certain attitude, but much like we have stories like The Love Bug, Herbie, that kind of movie, we have movies that speak to the Americana. Evangelion sort of speaks to the Japanicana, something like that.
Yeah, something.
It speaks to the Japanese will. And so, again, I don't think that we're going to get any like one-to-one politics in here, because
there's a
Yoko Taro
teaser
doesn't
trailer
function
too that
like
I sent you as well.
So, and we'll take a look at that. Maybe that'll help illuminate some theories on this. And there it is.
See if we get anything.
I assume that says spooky water.
Spooky water.
Yep. That definitely, very spooky water. Definitely what that says. Yeah.
This is
From the
definitely
creators of Spooky Water.
yeah.
This doesn't look like LCL.
Oh, look how beautiful that is. Oh, that's gorgeous. I know it's just a piano and the top of a cello, but Jesus.
Sure.
That's
Like I said, this is one of their
beautiful.
sources of pride, so they go all out for this stuff.
Look at that. That is gorgeous. Wow. That is, I swear to God, they better not use really crappy CGI in this movie.
You can expect it. There's nobody that does mecha animation anymore.
Ooh.
That looks a little bit like a kaiju.
Dude, hold on. Go back to that. Look at that. Was gorgeous.
That looks like a kaiju.
Ooh, that was beautiful, though. If that's CGI, that is beautifully blended.
Well, you could have done what Jujutsu Kaisen does and trace the CGI rendering. So their CGI rendering is just wire.
That's better.
Then,
that's better than what you're seeing in Jujutsu Kaisen, though. Holy shit.
I don't know. Some of those fight scenes are pretty good.
If you're going to compare this to anything in terms of CGI rendering and stuff, I'd compare it to Fate.
Okay.
To what UFO Table does in Fate. Like, God, that is beautiful.
That's obviously Eva 00. 01. Lilith was 0. Yeah. So this is 01. This is the patron, I believe, the patron Eva. But I'm not sure why it looks so much like a Kabuto beetle. Like it kind of looks like Tentomon's.
Oh, Kabuterimon? Or you mean Mega Kabuterimon?
Yeah, Kabuterimon. Yeah, it looks like Kabuterimon. You're
no,
right.
more like a Mega Kabuterimon kind of thing.
Yeah.
But look at that eye, though. That's just how it's just glowing. It just looks so beautiful.
So you can make out in here a red iris and a black pupil surrounded by orange eye matter. I don't know what that's called. The white, but it's orange. And in the original, it had white in its eyes because it was a human angel hybrid. And why would that be different now? Why would that be different? Because that's like an LCL orange. That's almost the color of the LCL. That's the liquid stuff that everybody broke into, the orange high C that everybody turns into at the end of Evangelion. But so it is curious to me why there's no white in the eye and why it is that color. Because again, it all has a meaning. Everything in Evangelion has a meaning. One of the things that always struck me was really interesting about the original story. Oh God, I just lost his name. Who is the original creator of Evangelion? I'll Google it. He just did he just did Shin Kamen Rider. Hideki Anno, sorry.
Yeah.
One of the things that Anno mentioned about this is that he didn't have any footing in Christianity or anything like that. He didn't try to tell a story about God or anything like that. He was interpreting the stories of the Bible through, of course, the Japanese lens of just being an observer of that faith rather than a practitioner. And so what always astonished me about the story was just how genuine it felt in its interpretation of a faithless interpretation of the Bible, if you will. If you took out all of the, the feel good, if you took out all of the purpose behind all of it and just retained the absolute cosmic horror of what was being described in the Bible, of what God's capable of what Revelation is supposed to do, the ocean of blood, that sort of thing. When you just remove it and turn it into a cosmic horror, Anno was an absolute genius. Just because, again, Christianity, I'm a practitioner of it. Jacob is, of course. I'm not trying to force it on anybody. What I'm trying to explain, though, is that Anno's completely faithless interpretation of it turned it into a story of like H.P. Lovecraft quality.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't necessarily represent like a despicable horror or anything like that. It's one of those stories where you never win, but you keep fighting.
Hmm.
Because again, the whole situation that Shinji and Asuka and Rei and the rest of the humans find themselves in is that they are not going to win this fight. There is no way to win this fight, but they're going to fight it anyway. And so that's why I say it speaks to the Japanese spirit. It's one of those ones you can't shake when it comes to this. Like, I'm kind of tired of Evangelion reboots, but if Yoko Taro's involved, I can tell that right now that's not going to be like anything you've ever seen before out of the franchise.
Oh no, especially with this trailer, and not only that, you have Cloverworks involved too. I mean,
Right.
This trailer was just, the stuff that we see in this trailer is just beautiful. Like, my God.
And Anno's fingerprints are all over this because he
for
likes
sure. Look at that. That is just like, this is stuff you'd see in Nier too. Let's be real.
Someone from Gundam GQX was also on this, or they're crediting Hideki Anno's role with it. Maybe, I'm not sure, because he was involved with Gundam GQX. So
But God,
that stood out.
Look at that. That's so pretty.
This is very much Yoko Taro's attitude, though, because like in Nier Automata, he likes to do a lot of antique things, broken things, nature reclaimed, spaces. And so that's I would expect a lot more existentialism.
Oh, for sure.
Out of this, a lot more questioning of humanity than there was before. Not that there wasn't enough questioning of humanity, but I think there'll be more on the spiritual level than what Anno and the other directors have done before.
I think that's what Evangelion kind of needs, though.
Sure, is that Shinji's examination is self-punishing. That's kind of the point of Shinji's arc, is that he's supposed to self-punish himself into action. And of course, when he does, bad things happen. And that's, you're not supposed to fight God. that's the point. But the Yoko Taro's interpretation in Automata of this sense of purpose, this sense of existence, was more in the spiritual realm than the actionable realm. So I would expect the characters to be less interpersonally with their drama and more like Shinji, in that they're questioning what their purpose is in all of this.
Yeah.
So then again, Yoko Taro created I'm sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. I have a cat and it likes to, shed. Sorry. Anyway, you didn't need to see it. You need to hear it though. Anyway, what Yoko Taro did with Nier Automata's characters is that they were robots, and they were discovering their humanity through the record of humanity. I believe that's what it was. I could be wrong, but I think it was the record of humanity. And so this obviously has that feeling, because look at what you're seeing in the scene here. You're seeing evidence of a destroyed classroom, because there's the chair, there's the desk, but you're also seeing a destroyed set of instruments. And not that these are any like electric guitar or, things like that, keytar and things like that. These are classical instruments, and they're in a circular Greek amphitheater style space. So when we see these types of things, we sort of apply a European aristocracy to this, or some type of very intense study to this. And one of the things that really wasn't too touched on in the original Evangelion or its successor series was what was life like before First Impact. There's a lot of talk about it. There's some scenes, but there's not a lot of analysis. The characters don't do too much reflection on that time before First Impact. And so this story might be about like the day after, because that's what this looks like, is like a tsunami has hit Japan again. This looks like post-tsunami Japan. What would First Impact have created? That's right, a tsunami. And so that's what this looks like.
Day one, that would be interesting.
That seems to be the only story left to tell because they told the after story in this most recent one.
Yeah.
Was after all of that, and somehow everybody was reconstituted, and Asuka was able to fight with her half-dead mom again, but robot mom. But so this would be the only way to go is to tell the story of like Nerve's activation upon first impact, the revelation that they have all this technology, and the last hours of mankind as first and
Ooh.
second impact happen.
That would be very interesting.
Because we never get to see Adam wake up. We get to hear about it, and then the big explosion, we see the big hole. We never see Adam wake up.
If that's what this is about if this is follows Adam wake up, how Adam awakens and shit like that, that would be very interesting.
Well, Buddy Smith says people coming out of the LCL ocean. Again, if this is meant to be first impact, there wouldn't be an LCL situation yet, but people who were maybe close to first impact happening could have been turned into LCL at that time. We also don't get a lot of exploration into how they found out that they needed the mother's soul in the machine in order to make the Eva work. So this could be that series that explains the horror of first impact and mankind's scramble to bring Nerve online and arm them with what they needed after all of these terrible experiments have been going on for so long.
That would totally fit Yoko. That would fit Yoko Taro's style. That would.
Yeah. Again, it just seems to be like the only path they have left, because what are we going to tell the after story now? We already know that Shinji and Mari get together, right? Or Shinji and Asuka get together in order to have Mari, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how the timeline worked? She's the daughter of Shinji. I think that's... I could be wrong. I may have read a fanfic and got it all tied up in my head. I don't know. But Hibiki Gamer says, this is beautiful, and also something's bad going to happen. American Democrats, but are trying to restrict my state of Virginia, and it's unconstitutional. They would vote no, Trump almost assassinated.
Oh my God, can we not bring politics into this? Oh,
I only laugh because it started off with like talking about the anime, and then we moved into the... It's not that your concerns are funny to me, Hibiki Gamer. It started off talking about the anime, and then we took a real right turn into modern day politics, and it just caught me off guard. That's all. What we're dealing with is like an attack on all fronts. And so the only thing I can really recommend is to, be around people that are like-minded, sort of like what we're doing here. Being around people who are like-minded that can take your mind off of the stuff you don't have control over. Buddy Smith says, I thought it was Mari that got Shinji with at the end of the Rebuild films. Okay, so that must have been how it worked, is Mari and Shinji got together. I just don't remember where Mari came from in all of this, because she was introduced in the third film, not the most recent one. It was the third film. Like, you will not... live, you will not really dream, something like that. But either way, like I said, this seems to be a story, what this preview is showing us of what Yoko Taro has created so far really speaks to be like the first hours of, first impact. What it was like
the immediate effects of first impact, like right as it's happening or right after.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
We don't meet Shinji's mom in the original story very much. We see a couple of scenes with her, and oh boy, I forgot the father's name. But we meet her just a little bit. We don't see a lot of her, but we're told that she's the one who really pushed the program forward. She was the one who convinced her husband to continue down the path that they were going on, as horrific as it became.
I wonder if we'll get I wonder if in the beginning we'll get like a little bit of that, like of the events leading up to first impact, like in the beginning. And then
the thing is that in order for Nerve to be able to be the response that they were, they had to have been doing the shit that they were doing long before first impact showed up.
Yeah.
And that was sort of kind of explained in the second movie, I think, when we got to meet the angel that came to be part of the kids with the kids, and he got a more expanded story.
Yeah.
Nega Shinji, whoever he was. But the that story explained that humans discovered Lilith, and Adam was buried underground, and we weren't supposed to have two of them here, and that's what created the controversy. So that's, again, it would be nice to have like a more I wouldn't say thought out, but a more completely delivered backstory to all of this. And that's probably where Yoko Taro is going to end up with his story.
At least I hope so. I think a lot of people would like that.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know what you think about it, guys. If you think we should go back in time and have an Evangelion, you cannot go back, story. You cannot
Especially
be
with
Mega
this.
Kabuterimon.
God, I love that design. It just looks so cool.
Like, I look at the color contrasts. There's Dan to Dan poking through again. I'm telling you, Dan to Dan completely reshaped anime with their weird 80s color contrasts.
I really like a lot of it. The contrast, the way that studios are doing it's very hit or miss. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, the way that they've been doing it, it's not like there's not enough contrast, so it looks like one big blob, and it's very annoying. And then like how Vigilantes did it today for at least one of the frames that they did it in today, it actually worked because there was enough black. Hell, here it works because there's enough black to break it up. There's enough darker colors to break it up.
Yeah, if it was like a bright red thing with these cyan accents, it would be pretty annoying. Yeah.
Oh my God, it would be like a huge eyesore.
Absolutely. But that's Mega Kabuterimon for you. But the thing I'm noticing about this though is that this doesn't look, well, I guess maybe the armor down there kind of does at the bottom, but the Evas are usually like wrapped up in giant bandages when we see them in the story.
Maybe this is like one of the first Evas or something.
Maybe this is what they look like. And then they get all this stuff like carved off of them and armor put on them because this organic stuff lets them go nuts.
That could be it. Oh yeah, the Asuka short, that was the one that was leaked that Buddy Smith is talking about.
Oh, how would we talk about it? I don't think we can show it. We'll get sued.
No.
Right?
Yeah, we can't show. I don't know if there's a trailer for it or not. But like, that's how I heard about the Asuka short, was that it was leaked. And Japan is mad about it. But I think I just didn't find a trailer in time. I'm guessing there should be a trailer.
So I guess this is that. This is that.
Yeah, this is the Asuka short. Yeah, that's the Asuka short.
So this isn't a video. This is just a picture. And I think that might be safe.
Yeah.
So what it appears to be is Shinji and Asuka are paired together in this one.
Yeah, it looks adorable.
It looks like the McDonald's commercial.
It looks like the McDonald's. Oh my God, it totally does. Holy shit, it does.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm not loving it.
Well, they're not loving the leakers.
No, the knot in Evangelion. I'm not loving it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing that. I'm making that meme, you bet. But anyway.
Oh gosh.
So like I said, Evangelion appears to be trying to tell a different story with what's going on right now. I don't know if the Asuka short is attached to Yoko Taro's work or not.
I don't think so. I think that's a separate thing.
So this is another one of those, we're going to tell you a story that may or may not come to fruition situations. Gotta love it. But Asuka ending up with Shinji is a little weird, considering
you're gonna have the shippers going wild.
Well, not only that, but I mean, like, Shinji, some things happened between them in that original series that I don't know might fit on the Epstein list. So I don't. This is a very. So you never believe how I met your mother. You
Oh,
know, you never believe how I
according
met your mother.
accordingly, Buddy Smith said here, apparently it had the vibe of the rebuild films and the ending made shippers. But see, I
What
knew
a
the shippers were
surprise!
going to be mad. Dude,
The
you can't
last
win with shippers.
didn't the last movie end with Mari and Shinji getting together? Wasn't that the end of it? I thought it was Asuka like hip bumping Shinji into talking to Mari.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? It could have been the other way around. Buddy, you'll have to in chat. You seem to know a little bit more about this than I do because again, I'm not. I only watched it when it first arrived on the internet. I didn't keep watching it or anything. So, um, yeah, of course it would make the shippers mad. I mean, any solution that isn't their solution makes them go freaking nuts.
Oh,
We've seen this
especially,
with
I mean, especially the Yaoi and Yuri shippers. Like,
yes, yep.
let's just say that pick isn't what you think it is. Oh no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. You know, because again, like I said, Shinji and Asuka getting together is pretty fucking weird. That's a little. Nah. I know a lot of people like saw it because the way that she was a. What's the Japanese name for a disagreeable girl?
Oh, Sunder.
Yeah, she's very tsundere or whatever that is to Shinji. So people were like, "Oh, obviously they're gonna get together," but I don't know. It's just- so there's a the other question I have about this is that if they were to get together, what the hell happened? What did Yoko Taro do that made that happen? Right? Like I've seen some pretty shifty Evangelion fanfics, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, how I met your mother. So kids, it's time I tell you about this story called First Impact.
Yeah, it was Sunder that he was thinking of.
Black Pill Timon, member of the channel, is here saying, "Hey, Cider and Nerdigans, never really liked Evangelion. It's one of those ones that is really hit or miss. You have
It
to
is.
really be into the concept and have a taste for cosmic horror to get into it because it is an absolutely fruitless
Well, you have to also
conflict.
use it. There's also the critical thinking skills required for it.
It is layered. It is pretty layered. But as I said earlier about Anno and Christianity, he sort of took the concept and turned it into a cosmic horror. Because again, as you know, Japanese usually aren't Christian. They're growing over there, obviously, but they usually aren't. And so when they look at this stuff, they look at it without the lens of faith. So they look at it kind of like how we look at the Greek gods. So they look at it, and so what he was seeing was like this cosmic horror story and things like that. And so it was a really it's really difficult to rationalize if you're not into that level of like inexplicable things happening because cosmic horror, things that mankind could never understand are unfolding in front of them. You know, and that's kind of the core of Evangelion is a completely unstoppable force has arrived and all humans have managed to do is prolong their suffering. That's really all they managed to do in the series.
Oh, imagine a G Gundam style Evangelion. That would be very bizarre. I don't think Evangelion can be as campy as Gundam like that, though.
Well, why would they be competing? That would be my first question about that. Unless every nation has its own EVA. And then America's EVA is obviously going to win. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but Japanese EVA doesn't stand a chance because, like, the American EVA has that Jeffrey Epstein. So, I mean, there's not just one mom soul in ours, okay? We got like 15 in that sucker. She's an eight-cylinder mom soul EVA.
Well, you have the Karen. No, you got the Karen mom.
That's right.
EVA.
Yeah, we didn't build just like 4. We built like 100 million of these things. Okay, we mass produced.
No, but then you got the European and Aussie Karen EVAs, which are like next level.
Yeah, that's true. That's the G Gundam part where they'll be competing who can destroy the angels.
Who can out Karen it? It's like a Karen competition.
Anno was more referencing Ultraman and Jerry Anderson puppet shows, specifically the show UFO. Sure, I like I said though, is that he mentioned the references of the Bible and things like that as like what he was looking at that informed it. So again, it's not that any of these situations you're referencing are wrong because obviously there's no giant monster battles in the Bible, but there's a
Well,
lot of them in Ultraman. There's a giant monster battle in the Bible?
I
I don't think
mean,
Goliath's a giant. He's a giant of a man, but not a kaiju. And Godzilla rose from, excuse me, and Jesus rose from the grave, roaring, "Screong!" Right? Yeah, I'm going to hell for that. But anyway, G Gundam Eva, where each country has sacrificed certain souls into their Eva. Sure.
well, yeah, they're
That would be-
sacrificing Karen. Well, Karens are sacrificing their Sims.
The Nephilim were humanoid though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Jacob was the Nephilim
Okay.
in terms of like because the way that Nephilim are described is very monstrous. And then you
Yeah.
got also the fallen angels as well too. That become demon lords. Those are very monstrous, and then you got demons themselves that are monsters. So yeah,
Right. But the again, the Eva the angels that visit in Evangelion to destroy the earth or overwhelm the earth, whatever their goal is. I think it's to get to
Yeah.
Lilith. I think it's what it is. Just get to Lilith. And so the angels that
Yeah,
come there.
I'm
kinda
with Jacob on that one. That's what it is. The Nephilim are giants and monstrous creatures. They are.
So Nephilim are probably the Eva then. Because that
Yeah.
makes more sense because the angels that were sent are like a giant screaming trapezoid. The only one that had any human form to it was the first one there that Shinji ate the arm of, and then his mom hand regrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, had all the ribbons and stuff. The rest of them didn't even have a face. They were just crazy shapes. One of them was just ribbons, like a different type of ribbons. It was just a bunch of ribbons. So
That's true.
and that's where like the Nephilim angle might apply to the Eva more because the Eva are humanoid, two
Yep.
eyes, one mouth, two limbs, two arms.
That
two
sounds
legs,
about
okay.
right.
Yeah, so that seems they're mutated from Lilith, so that would mean that because Lilith
Well, she
wasn't
is the mother of
necessarily-
all demons, so
right, but if you look at it from that angle too, but in the story, Lilith is not necessarily by definition a fallen angel, but something happens to her and she ends up on Earth with
Lilith.
Adam.
Well, Lilith was created by the angels to be like the perfect woman, and then she didn't. She wasn't interested in Adam's sexual advances, and she ran out of the garden, and then she became a demon.
So Evangelion doesn't follow that one because something happens when because there are some type of seeds that are sent to Earth, and so there's some type of there's some type of seeds that are sent to Earth, and something collides with Lilith and causes her to arrive on Earth with Adam, which is true. It's not. The anime refers to it as an act of blasphemy. I think that's the wording they use. But I don't think that means in a spiritual sense. Whatever sent the angels in the anime is using them as some type of consciousness collector. That's what I understand. I could be wrong. But he says, I wish they pull a deep cut reference like there's an American Even pilot who was created for Eva tabletop game and there was a whole storyline in it. Oh, okay. Huh. Wasn't Jet Alone the American attempt at creating an Eva? I want to say that was the one. Lilith is a demon. Her origins are Gnostic, not biblical. Oh, okay. I don't know. I only know the Digimon that she's based off of. Big Digimon boobies. That's the only reason why I know that character. But have I watched the Zets, not recently, no. I've been following Gavan Infinity, just because it's the new thing that's going on, that's all. Hopefully, we'll find out more about what's going on with Baku, though. Zero finds his way back. I don't think Zero's done. He's a robot. Can't die. Robots don't work like that. But that's Evangelion. What's going on with them? I'm still not entirely sure what this means. So the information you got from us tonight is not like from the inside or anything like that. It is just our speculation on what any of this or some of it could mean. So we'll have to wait until it comes out to know for sure.
But then we got Pokemon's 30th anniversary.
And I put that somewhere. I put it somewhere. I know I put it somewhere. I had the link. Where did I
And then what Nintendo did, or I'm sorry, what Game Freak did was they released a 30th anniversary logo for every single Pokemon. And if you click the link that Sarah B did, you'll see their website. They have every single one up there. They have all of them cataloged. It is insane. There's like over 1,000 of them.
Why are there over 1,000 Pokemon?
It's not on the website, by the way. The screen isn't.
Oh, sorry.
Look at that. There's over 1,000 of these things.
They're not kidding.
For the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. Also, Fire Red and Leaf Green, they have it available now in the eShop for $20. It's not a Nintendo Online thing. Nah, you could actually buy the game, which is nice.
The physical one?
No,
digital download.
Digital download.
Yeah.
I wish I wish we were getting a physical release. Japan has like a special edition. It's not a physical release. It's still a digital download, but you get there's a special edition you could get where it's like you get like a physical product though, which is crazy, but still. I can't believe it's been 30 years of Pokemon. Oh my God, I feel so old.
Some of these have some really weird names, like Iron Bundle, Iron Treads, Iron Hands. What? Walking.
It's probably some of the Japanese names. That's probably what it is. Suicune looks really cool. I like the Suicune one.
Well, that's a Mega Suicune or something because it like has two tails.
Yeah, that's got to be Mega Suicune. That looks really bomb.
This must be translated from Japanese. So
if it's not, then that's what it is. What it is. But yeah, if they did a physical release of red, green, and blue, I would lose my mind. And yellow in one bundle, I would lose my mind. I would totally do everything I can to buy it. Fuck, I would love a physical release of like a re-release or whatever of Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Even I'd be so happy with that. That's probably out of all the remakes, that's probably my favorite is Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Oh my God, Electrovire. Dude, it looks like he's humping it.
yeah.
He's straight up humping it.
Then you got Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff looks cute. Poliwrath looks like he's coming to punch you out of it, which is kind of cool. Hot Shot looks so weird.
Yeah, some of this, I think they just did it for the sake of it, and there just wasn't a lot of like ideas. But Electrode is pretty good. I like Electrode.
Yeah, Electrode and Voltorbs is obviously really good.
Pretty easy.
Those make sense.
I don't know. This looks like stuff you'd see on like the early 2000s internet. You know?
Yeah.
30 years releasing the same game. Yep.
Well, different
all the
regions.
dogfighting.
I kind of like Charizard's. Like that would be a really cool patch, actually.
For
like
Dead
that
Rising.
You put on your bag.
Are you gonna do a trailer for Dead Rising? The game's like 15 years old, right? It's really.
I guess
old.
yeah.
I don't know. You have to let me... What's that?
Well, Xbox might be like fucked over, but because of the new CEO. I'm telling you, like, you saw the whole thing with Xbox with the new CEO. The new CEO saying that she heard she's hearing fans about wanting Xbox exclusives. It's like, dude, no. It's Xbox is too far gone. It is chosen to go down the path of Sega. It is not coming back. People wanted Xbox to be available for every console. They didn't want Xbox exclusives anymore, and that's what Microsoft did. So yeah, Xbox is going. It's been going the way of Sega. I don't know why people thought otherwise. Like the moment that Gears of War, Fable, and Halo were became available for PlayStation, like that was the moment that Xbox died. I don't know why people think otherwise. They're stupid.
Well, and again, I mean, they got a new lady, and she's gonna ruin it anyway.
Her race got nothing to do with it.
Well, she's like, they showed her game profile and she had like 1 hour in Borderlands.
Her gamer tag was made last month. That's what I found suspicious.
Yeah. And she's very concerned with the birth rate. So she decided that she was going to go out and let me see if I can find.
I just was like, I saw like she came from an AI division. I was just like, yeah, she's coming from AI. Yeah, there's no. And then you have someone from Activision, a former Activision employee, trying to defend her, like saying that, oh, she doesn't need to be a gamer. Like, I agree to an extent. I agree with them that you don't necessarily have to be a gamer to run a gaming company, because we see it from time to time. But like, woman, you worked at Activision Blizzard. You are the wrong person to come out and say this stuff. You are not helping her case. You were at Activision during the worst time. Like, I would not say anything if I were you, woman. And she locked her replies too. Oh my God, I couldn't believe she said this.
That's okay. No, I mean, I think that we just need to imagine the world as every application becoming an AI application. I would say think at a much bigger scale than what we have before. That's okay.
That's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
She is crazy. You need to know the gaming industry, yeah, but that's something you could then this was the argument that the Activision person was making is it's something you could study. Yeah, you could study the gaming industry without being like a hardcore gamer. Yeah, that's something that you could do. You got it as long as you know how business works and how economics work, and also like the basics. Then yeah, you can run a company. You can run a gaming company without being a hardcore gamer. That's a plus to be a hardcore gamer. And if you're, it's great to be passionate about gaming. That's a plus. It's probably a great thing to be running a gaming company and being a gamer. But like, you don't necessarily have to be. I know it's weird as it sounds.
Why is she thinking that AI is going to fix the baby problem?
Because she used to work for for Microsoft's AI division.
I work with AI every day. I work with the talkie AI. I work with the generative AI. There is nothing about that that's going to get people to fuck. I'm sorry. You can't talk to ChatGPT and be like, well, I'm ready to make babies. It's not how that works. I don't, unless she's talking about like AI driven, like egg plus sperm. I don't know. I don't understand what the goal is here. How you
AI will lure people to a fan.
Yeah, right. Like the forced breeding program, sure, where like the Terminator shows up and inseminates you, I guess. But I mean, I have no idea how AI is going to solve the birthing crisis. This is absolutely
Skynet's not going to solve. Skynet not going to solve anything like that. Skynet might be able to cure cancer, but Skynet's not going to solve the birthing crisis.
Smash JT just made a post here too. I ran across it and now I've lost it. So just a second here.
I think your camera's frozen.
Is it? Yeah, it is. Of course. So here, I'll bring this up from Smash and then I'll fix my camera while we're doing that. What a great time to freeze too. Anyway, nope, hit the wrong button. I'm just 1,000 times good at what I do. So anyway, fixing my camera now. I will shut off the camera and bring up the
And you
screen
fr-
again.
There
There
you
we
go.
go. Finally, I'll get it right. I
Oh yeah, I
promise.
saw that. I
promise.
saw this right when we went live. The Xbox founder said. Yeah, as I said, there's no way Xbox is gonna die. It was already dying as it is.
So basically what this says right here, and I'm still working on getting my camera running again, sorry. So Xbox, a lot like a lot of businesses that aren't the core of AI businesses, is being sunsetted.
Yep.
They don't say that, but that's what's happening. I expect that the new CEO, Asha Sharma, will her job is going to be as a palliative care doctor who slides Xbox gently into the night.
Well, yeah, and I know Xbox.
You
I read
don't
somewhere that
lie.
Xbox was Xbox employees didn't like Sarah Bond, and that's why they got her out of there, like quietly, or tried to as quietly as possible. But like, you got to wonder, like, why, if this is the case, then why not have Sarah Bond there? And it's probably to like try and blindside the rest of the Microsoft employees.
Well, and here we'll go down to it again. We'll read more from it. This is from Seamus Blackley, and he says, "It just seems really true. I imagine asking somebody if it made sense to put a major motion picture studio into the hands of somebody who didn't like movies, or a major record label into the hands of somebody who'd never seen a live show. Why would you do that? Well, you only do that if you're looking at the problem in a more abstract way. The natural consequence of focusing on AI is that AI abstracts every problem from the minds of executives who believe in it. We're abstracting the problem of games as well. There's a core belief, and you can see it in the way that Satya said, that AI will subsume games like it will subsume everything else." Is there more? There is. The job of all these people is to just gently usher all of these business units into a new world of AI. That's what you're seeing here. Whether or not you agree with it, whether you agree with AI having the potential to do that, whether AI will be successful is a separate matter. But that's what we're seeing. That is in no way surprising. It would have been shocking if they had somebody in there in a meaningful role who was passionate about games, passionate about the creator-driven business of games, because it would be in a direct conflict with everything else Microsoft is doing. Microsoft is a company that is now about enabling its customers by enabling AI to drive things. That's at odds with the auteur model of any art, but specifically of games. Microsoft doesn't have the problem that Apple does or Netflix does, where they have an auteur-driven content model to manage. Games are the only place where they have a content business.
So it might be worse than Sega. Because Sega, at least they're not relying on AI to make their product.
Well, again, we're looking at this from a perspective of people who want games, not who want profit. And the people who want profit have made it entirely clear that this is not going to be a creative endeavor that involves humans any longer. They're going to, I guarantee you, the thought process is that as soon as this Google Genie thing matures to where you can add in results to your video game that you generate, because right now you're just cruising around a procedurally generated space. You don't have any objective. There's no points to collect. There's no combat. You just run around. As soon as this evolves to the point where they can do that, Microsoft will be all over that. And that's their plan, is they'll have ChatGPT write the prompt. The prompt will go on to create the game, and the game will be marketed to you. And that's how it'll go. So this person, the Timeless Martian, says, "B. Asha, ex-head of core AI product at Microsoft, become Microsoft gaming CEO, immediately starts using AI replies, starts an Xbox account a month ago, has ultra rare achievements, impossible to get as a beginner with low hours in Minecraft. 2 of her favorite games aren't in history." Interesting. Over 40 hours, 1 week on one game. Says Halo is one of her favorites, doesn't name the game. So Xbox is now led by a corporate maxi with no real skills, who will bring in only those in her circle over those of merit, and Halo campaign Evolved is likely to release in November 15th, 25th anniversary, 3 days ahead of GTA 6's announced release.
Well, that's just going to doom. I know why they're doing it, because they don't want to completely fuck over Halo.
If well, they know that after. Go ahead.
It says, does it say 3 days? They said 3 days ahead, so it'd be 3 days before. They were smart. Right. They would release Halo like at least a month before GTA 6, because then at least they would make more money.
Well, they understand that once GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be a year before the market loosens up again.
Yeah, that's why I said they should probably try and release Halo like a month before GTA 6.
Timon says, Xbox started to die when Xbox One required a internet connection to work. And if you didn't have it, you should buy a 360. Okay. I had a 360 for a while. I only played Skyrim on it. I didn't.
Well, 360 had its, the main problem with the 360 was that it constantly had the red ring of death. And that you had to get an Xbox Live account.
RJ McReady says, unless AI is pairing me up with Peyton List, what will it actually do? She just doesn't really explain that part. I assume there's a video somewhere or like a more lengthy post from her that I suppose we could dig up sometime, but that may become more pertinent as Xbox starts reminding you to check your ovulation schedule and to make sure your sperm count is optimal. You know, your Xbox app is like the Duolingo thing, except like a little green condom with an Xbox logo shows up. You know, just reminding you.
Remember, everything was supposed to be an Xbox.
Yeah, well, pretty soon it will be, because AI is just going to cram it all in there, whether we like it or not. YouTube is also using AI. It's abusing AI. That's for sure. That's what it's doing. I think her job is to transition Xbox into obsolescence, probably. But like I said, Xbox might be the first adopter of the AI-generated game phenomenon that's going to probably arrive later this year, maybe next year.
It's not going to do anything, though. Like people, well, there's going to be people that love, or the AI bros are going to probably eat it up because they love their AI slop. Like, for example, like our former coworker who thinks he's an AI artist, he's going to probably eat it up. But then again, he doesn't play games, so what does he know? But yet he's trying to fight for games, but he doesn't play games.
These early renditions are going to be rough, but probably by 28, you will be able to type in a prompt and get a complete video game out of it. So it's one of those things where we were I forget where I was talking about this, but we were talking about the concept of mass phenomena, cultural phenomena. It's not going to exist anymore. AI is allowing us to like stratify your tastes. So sort of like how Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, God rest his spirit, and many others were sort of big names in acting. We're not going to have that anymore. People have the ability, not just because of AI, but we have the ability to seek out what we want. We don't have to all go see Top Gun because it's the only thing in theaters for the next 3 months. That's what it was. So back in those days, there'd only be like 12, 14, maybe 20 movies that came out a year. Now you're dealing with almost 1,000, and that's just American-made shit.
A lot of it is slop, though, unfortunately.
Slop's a new favorite word. I think the dictionary said that it was 2025's favorite word. But dictionary.
I hate that slop is like this, but when it's slop, it is slop. Let's be real.
And that's what I'm talking about, though, is that this dismiss of AI, of course, will pursue, but over time, people are going to say, hold on, I get to pay $400 to Xbox a year, but I get to generate any game I like from their content library. So if I want Master Chief and Crash Bandicoot to team up to kick Little Big Planet's ass, I could.
Well, you're not going to have that because Sony's copyright. There is no way that Sony will allow that.
I'm sorry. I thought Little Big Planet was Xbox. My bad. Whatever Xbox has, just the two of those in a different environment, whatever. But that's what I'm trying to get at is that like This is the same goal that Disney made when they officially signed Sora AI to become part of the Disney Plus app. It's the same concept.
I mean, like people say that they hate the AI, like they stand on this soapbox saying that they hate AI, but yet they use like Grok to do all this crazy shit. And I'm just like, didn't you say you hated AI? Then why are you using it?
Well, it's one of those things. You can say you hate a hammer, but you're going to need a hammer. It is the tool that makes the process of communicating ideas easier. This is one of the things I try to talk about when the stuff that I make comes up. Is I try to avoid using actual people unless it's one of those political things, like it's just political art. When I'm trying to do my creative endeavors, I don't cast an actual actor as my characters. I don't cast real people in these things. I don't resurrect the dead to do it. I try to make sure that when I'm making this stuff that's about like Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever, that it's fully embracing the parody nature that it's meant to convey. That it's not meant to be taken in any serious manner. You know, I see a lot of people trying to create their own Star Trek and Star Wars and things like that, and it's not going to fly. They're going to get sued real fast for that because they're trying to protect their IP.
Mm-hmm.
And so you end up with these very ugly things that come out. There's Darth Pimp Daddy or something like that.
Oh my God.
The other day that his YouTube channel got killed because he kept making Star Wars parody videos out of AI and using Hayden Christensen's face and Ewan McGregor's face.
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
And they're like kissing and things like that, and they're like having like gay romance songs to one another, and it's like, you can't do that, dude. These people get paid millions of dollars just to show their mug in these shows. You cannot just throw them in the middle of a gay parody. You can't do it, man. But he just couldn't get it through his head. Then we had Ryan Lightborn. Yeah, Ryan Lightborn. And he put out a, what was this? This was Frostblood 3. And this guy's a real filmmaker, like a real deal filmmaker. As you can see right here, riled up about AI, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so Ryan Lightborn, he's a former filmmaker. He was explaining that, like, after 42 years, he was able to put this together. He's able to do this with his film, stuff. He used to make movies and things like that, these little indie stuff. So this is what he put together. It's all AI.
He rolled in like a ghost in the wind, moonlit skies and
It's even got the cheesy 80s action hero song.
the world was broken,
All AI.
drowning in fear. But when she saw him, the sky came clear.
Ituda Matuka.
Winter's over.
Here's what surprised me is the violence.
I like the violence. It looks good.
That's just it, is that usually the AI says, sorry, we can't generate that, friend. No credits used, but you can't have that. This is really violent.
Can't have degeneracy usually, huh?
Well, it depends on what you want out of it, but yeah, if you're asking for naked ditties, there's only a few apps that do that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I deliberately avoid those because I think that pornography is already a problem. AI, the build-a-bitch concept does not entertain me at all. I think that that's another level of debauchery that you just don't need to engage in.
Till he came, but heroes don't get to stay. Though they burn and fade.
That guy looks like Burt Reynolds. I'm just realizing that.
Yeah. What amazes me about this is two things, okay? And I just kind of, I glossed over this in the last conversation I had, but all of the effects you're looking at look like they're like cheap B-movie effects.
They do. Holy shit, they totally do.
Here's
Or
the other
C-movie
thing.
effects.
Right, here's the other thing. All of the lighting matches. He has maintained this low light, this sunset light through every single shot. And the AI that I use struggles to do that. It's one of the killers when you're trying to generate scenes is the lighting just will not obey. And somehow he has managed not only to keep the light right, but he's also managed to keep the sun in the correct position. So you don't have the sun over here in one picture, in one scene, the sun over here in another scene. It's always in the correct position. And just, I guarantee you that's from his film prowess, but whatever AI he was using was very trained in on this 80s B movie, C movie stuff, you know, like made for TV movie stuff. The Wilhelm scream.
I thought you were dead, hero. How'd you find us?
I could smell you from across the galaxy.
If I were you, I'd drop those weapons, or I'll be having this one for dinner.
All AI. But wait. He's got meth. Wait, no, it's Kristen. It's just Kristen. It even looks like 80s effects.
It does.
It actually made his head explode. I have never seen an AI do that before. I've never, ever, ever in the time that I've worked with this had an AI that would allow any type of maximum violence like that to happen. But you just watch the character's head explode and the body fall over. The light is maintained. I just want to remind you guys, the light has been maintained. It's the same lighting. The sun's in the same position. And he made it with $39. In today's 30-second entertainment circles, you know, where everybody's TikTok addicted, we complain that the kids can't sit through full-length movies. This is what will be king going forward. 5-minute movies.
That's sad.
I'm just telling you. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be this ultra-compact storytelling where you get the beginning, middle, and end just in 5 minutes, just like that, and that'll be the end of it.
I hate this timeline.
Yeah, it's a really crazy thing to consider that like it not only created deformation of the face, but also did the exploding pustules on the side. And of course, he blurred it because of the violence filters here on
Twitter,
X, and Facebook and
what
stuff.
kitty?
But even then, you see like the globule being launched out of the top of his head look at that. The glob coming out of the top of his head as the head explodes. So it is exploding the head. That is not some type of superimposed CGI. The AI is natively exploding the head. Just completely, absolutely crazy. Yeah, like Roger Corman movies. Yeah, exactly. It looks like an old Canon movie. Exactly. Yes, thank you. That's exactly it. And that's what you're looking at. That's what you're seeing the AI manifest as with this, is that if you want to do a low budget movie, it seems to be able to do that pretty well. If you're trying to do crazy stuff like the Transformers, it looks pretty ass. But if you're trying to do this stuff, or people are like wearing random, where the costumes aren't specific, you know, like Superman's costume, Batman's costume, those are specific style costumes. This lady's costume is pretty specific. His suit isn't so specific. The fat guy, not so specific. There are just random shit hanging off of him. But their stuff is not that specific for the AI to try and replicate shot by shot by shot. And it's just astonishing to me how he's managed to keep all of this just not bullshit.
It looks
even
good.
Her teeth are look at that. Even her teeth are crooked. Look at that.
That's crazy.
Wow. Then she's got some crazy like rodent teeth down here. But like, that's nuts that the AI even made her teeth crooked. That's just there's so many little tiny bullshit things that the AI can do now that make it feel like someone like genuinely had a human hand in a lot of this, but it's mostly just guys like Ryan and I that are selecting out scenes and then animating them.
Go figure.
That's it.
It's crazy.
And again, like the music was most likely AI generated. The sound effects, of course, were part of the presentation. The language, where that guy was speaking Jabba the Hutt language there, the bad guy at the beginning, all AI generated from what I can tell. It's not that you can tell. It's just that when you're generating this stuff, not having a mouth for the AI to apply the sound to, it just sort of feels like it doesn't have any home. But that was clearly coming out of that character's face. The sound was telling you that that character behind the mask was speaking that. And that is a very annoying effect to try and create. But maybe he did it. But my best guess is he had that AI generated. Because as Jacob has talked about with his streams, you can have multiple languages in the same AI cuts. You can have an American speaking English. You can have a Japanese man speaking fluent Japanese. You can have a Korean man speaking fluent Korean, all in the same scene, and they're not running over each other. But that's what I mean when I say that they're going to start like generating this stuff. They're going to start generating, video games like this that, a prompt, you're going to have this, you have your 5-minute movies.
I mean, this is the TikTok generation. They want to cater to that, which is a damn shame. Instead of trying to go the K-pop Demon Hunters route, and where K-pop Demon Hunters was able to get Zoomers' attention, hold their attention for more than 5 minutes, they want to do this instead. Like, it's the lazy way out, at least in my opinion.
Well, and that again, like that's just it. Is that what are we going to do when you can just make your own television show? What does it mean when you could just make your own television show? Because guess what? That's not going to get nationally syndicated.
But that's what YouTube is too, technically. Well, YouTube is a more creative way to do it compared to like what AI is doing, because that's what YouTube was intended to be, is people creating their own things.
YouTube is encouraging you to use your own face to generate AI videos now. So,
and that's even more lazy.
Well, again, like that's what you're. So when we introduced green screen, a lot of people got mad. Remember?
Yeah,
when
but like a lot of people
CGI
use
effects, people got mad.
Well, people used used green screen to enhance their YouTube videos.
Well, no, I'm talking about like movies.
Like that. Oh, for movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about for YouTube. For movies,
no,
for movies, I think it depends on the movie itself. But yeah, green screen for movies, it's not usually a good thing. I know a lot of the actors really hate the green screen concept. A lot of them hate it. They like being on an actual set.
Yep.
Or like being on location.
Well, and that, again, it's easier to, as a stage actor, I can tell you it's easier to interact with things when there's things to interact with, not just stuff you got a bad at.
But like some things you can't help, like say like a Sonic. Well, Sonic, they actually make like actual models of the actual hedgehog, so that's a little bit different. But like it's understandable for like certain things when you're doing like a 2D hybrid, or 3D hybrid, you know what I mean? It's kind of understandable when you're stuck in that kind of situation. But like with Sonic, they worked around it and made it even more creative and made it a lot easier. But like still, it's to an extent, it's understandable, and you could kind of like give it a pass to a point. But now, because of the Sonic movies, it's like, yeah, you kind of can't give it a pass anymore when you can make the actual thing that you're, especially with today's technology, you can actually make the thing that is being animated.
Well, and today's technology, you can just AI generate the scene and don't have to worry about puppets or an actor or location. That's
that too.
That's why the industry is going that way. Like I created this with my own superhero characters from my comic book. It's just an opening to a television show about Star Supreme and her family in Maine. That's it. You could just do this.
Take a breath, feel the spark in the air. You don't need a reason to just be there. Every step on this road that we choose is a sign that there's nothing we can lose.
and you can just do this, you know? But one of the things you got to get used to about this, one of these things you do have to get used to about this is that nobody's going to see it. All right?
That's the thing.
Is that everybody can generate their own movie. It's the old question from The Incredibles that was asked by Syndrome. Once everybody's super, nobody will be.
Exactly.
And so that's the big problem with AI if you're a creative. You just have to get content with the fact that I made it and that's it. That's the end of the road.
It's
Unless
not
you
like
have,
YouTube.
Not even like that, though. I mean, even if you uploaded it to YouTube, everybody can make their own shit.
Yeah.
So who the hell's looking for anything anymore? If you can just AI generate a Markiplier video, why the fuck are you going and watching a Markiplier video? You know?
That's scary.
If you can just AI generate 2 seasons of Transformers versus Sailor Moon, why the fuck would you watch either of those shows? I mean, that's where you're at, is that as a creative, you generate all you like, but it's just going to be in your own little bubble because everybody else is in their own little bubble. There won't be sitting around the office saying like, oh man, did you catch that Game of Thrones episode? Nope, that won't be there anymore. Hey, did you guys check out this new streaming series? Nope, that won't be there anymore.
Well, especially when streaming prices are so freaking high. That's why I gotta wonder if that's partially why Tubi did what they did to bring more people to their service.
Well, and again, like this is what you're seeing with Disney Plus. Bob Iger and the gang, before he got swapped out, thought it would be a great idea to sign with Sora, OpenAI, to have you as a Disney Plus user. I'm not accusing you of anything, Nerdigans. I'm accusing you of the high crime of having a Disney Plus subscription. But Disney Plus subscribers can, as soon as this is integrated into the app, will be able to generate 30 seconds of HD or 4K, one or the other. It's not 720 anymore. It's high quality, high HD anyway, of footage featuring Disney owned content. So you won't be able to transform, you won't be able to do things about the Transformers because Disney doesn't own those, but you can do a lot of stuff with Iron Man versus Darth Vader. You'll be able to make that fight. It'll be in the format for sharing for shorts, by the way, the vertical layout. And what the goal is for that is to have you pay them money to generate advertising content. Because guess what they're going to use that for? That's right. They're going to put that up on YouTube, over there on TikTok. They put it everywhere where that ratio works. And they're going to tell everybody, hey, why don't you go try this yourself? Look at how much fun Billy's having generating Iron Man and Darth Vader being drunks in college. Wow. Wouldn't you like to do something stupid with your Disney Plus subscription? Join up today. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to make you pay money for the permission to generate advertising material for them.
Like, why do that why pay for a subscription when you have like free services like Pluto? You have free services, which is adding more content for their live channels, like by the day. You have Tubi, who's adding more content by the day. I'm waiting for Tubi to add live channels. The moment they do, I'll start using Tubi. And then you got pirating, and which is what more anime fans are doing constantly, especially since, for example, like Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll had a global outage yesterday. It was out for like, I think at least 6 hours. And pirate sites weren't down. Pirate sites were working just fine. You could watch anime, no problem. But there was a global outage, and then one Crunchyroll user was saying that by the time it went back up, there was a login attempt. So yeah, their account got hacked. So someone was attempting to hack their account. So like, why would you pay money for a Crunchyroll subscription where you have where you have to deal with, and it's not the first time that Crunchyroll's having problems in terms of like logging in. No, like Crunchyroll, like I see it on the Crunchyroll Reddit all the time. People have problems logging into their account. One of my followers told me their account gets hacked on the day, like their account gets hacked constantly. There's people have problems like watching their content from their Crunchyroll account on their TV, on their PlayStation. website. And like I've seen people say that they have problems like even getting charged the right amount for their membership. It's like, dude, why even have one at this point? Oh, in terms of ReZero, they're doing like a I saw this today. They're doing like a one night screening, like early special screening for the first episodes of like ReZero, Witch Hat Atelier, what was the other one? Yomi no Sugai, and like another series. They're only doing it at like a limited amount of theaters, and they're only doing it for one night and for one time. And it's at 7:00. And it's in sub. And it's like, dude, Crunchyroll, you obviously do not give a fuck about you doing anything for theatrical releases. It's on March 16th for those that are interested. It's
Speaking
like,
of Crunchyroll, though.
But yeah, there's also this that is going on too. Speaking of, but yeah, Crunchyroll.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil. The merger with Right Stuff, or the acquisition of Right Stuff, just keeps proving to be a disaster. Oh my god! So you also, first of all, like a little bit more backstory with what's going on is that there's something that's going on called like a slow seller situation. So if your product isn't selling very well in the Crunchyroll store, they put your product on like, they label it like slow seller, and like they do like a deep discount as well. It's so bizarre. But now you got this where the warehouse is being listed for about $5.7 million, and that they didn't even buy the warehouse, they're just leasing it. And they're not even going to renew the lease. For the Right Stuff warehouse, it's where all the product is. All the product that Right Stuff has.
I'm afraid I don't follow. Crunchyroll is a streaming service. Why
Yes,
do
they acquired Right Stuff Anime, which sells anime products.
Oh, okay.
And all their inventory is in this warehouse.
All right. So, what does that mean then? That they didn't buy Right Stuff?
No, they bought Right Stuff. They didn't. So basically, what this means is hold on, let me have this up here. So they never acquired the building during the Right Stuff acquisition. They just leased the building from Right Stuff. And then what else Manga Alert says is basically they originally thought, based on the PR that ran at the time, that Crunchyroll merged with Right Stuff and took over everything. And this new information reveals that while there was a merge on the storefront logistics side, Right Stuff still owned the warehouse and leased it out to Crunchyroll until 2030. And it confirms that Crunchyroll is downsizing their Crunchyroll store when previously they were publicly stating that no changes are being made with the acquisition of Right Stuff. And in addition, they were also caught delisting products they deemed, this is what I was talking about, as slow sellers without disclosing it to their partners. It's really messed up what they're doing. It is. Like, it's like, why even buy? This was after the whole thing with Funimation acquiring Crunchyroll. And it's like, dude, why even bother buying it? Why buy Right Stuff if you're just going to like run it to the ground? I'm telling you, Brainy ran Funimation into the ground. They're going to run Crunchyroll they're running Right Stuff into the ground. He's going to run Crunchyroll into the ground. I don't know what the hell Sony was thinking. I really don't know what they were thinking by having this man run Crunchyroll.
Probably the same thing that Xbox is thinking, having that lady run it.
I honestly don't know, because Sony Group is completely disconnected from this. They have because I have my Aniplex contact, and I've asked about, do they even know what's going on over there? And it's kind of like with Sony Group and PlayStation, Sony Interactive, they're kind of completely disconnected from it all. To be honest, they really are. They're separate entities in a way, in terms of like knowing what's going on. To an extent, they really don't know what's going on. And when I've told my contact, what's been going on with Crunchyroll, they're like, what? Really? Like, it's just insane. It is insane. Yeah, as Kamchi saying, yeah, Crunchyroll just stealing anime to make money and putting no efforts into their stuff on their stuff. Technically, they're not stealing anime because they're buying the rights to it, so they're not stealing it. No, they're not stealing it. They own the rights to stream and distribute it, so they're not stealing it. What they're doing is that they are charging they're stealing their members' membership fees to like on using it for God knows what. They're definitely not using it to fix their freaking website. They're probably pocketing it. The higher ups are probably just pocketing it at this point.
Well, Kamchi brings up a good point that perhaps, I don't know why Japan hasn't done this yet, at least Toei anyway, why they don't have their own like Toei group streaming service. You know,
well, the thing is that in terms there's obviously there's Netflix is doing their own thing. You got Netflix, Amazon is trying again, even though they had Anime Strike and that freaking failed because even though let's be real, Anime Strike had a decent library of anime. It was
they don't advertise their stuff.
They don't advertise it though. I'm telling for those of you that don't remember, Anime Strike back in 2017, 2018, they had Made in Abyss, they had Hoseki no Kuni, they had Vinland Saga season 1. They had oh god, what was the other one? I liked Fukimeki Noise. Well, to an extent, Fukimeki Noise. I like the manga. The anime was okay. They had Yukio Holder was ass, so I'm not going to include Yukio Holder in this discussion. Now I remember they had Karakuri Circus, which was okay, but they had Doro, which was actually pretty decent. But like they had some decent anime up in their catalog. They just didn't do crap with it. They also, in terms of Amazon Prime originals, they have Look Back, which is exclusive. They have I forgot Banana Fish. I don't know why I forgot Banana Fish for a second. But yeah, they have Banana Fish, which Amazon still owns. They have they got Look Back. They got they have Sanda, which is freaking amazing if you haven't watched it. And now Amazon's talking about being the number one place for anime again. It's like, dude, you had your chance. You had your chance, you stupid morons. Jesus Christ. There's an Amazon, I would say Amazon's doing more with Prime Video Japan. So kind of like with Disney. Disney's doing more with Disney Plus in Japan in terms of anime than they are here. Well, because but still, like but I know what my contacts have said is that outside of like maybe I think maybe Bleach is like the only one that they really advertise. Maybe Tokyo Revengers gets a lot of advertising, but outside of those two, there's not as much advertising for Disney anime, but like there's a lot more of it. What's the other one I was thinking of? Netflix has a lot more anime. There's also, in terms of Southeast Asia, there's Muse Asia. A lot of the anime in Japan, there's a lot of them goes on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of promotions via YouTube. I mean, Digimon Beat Break, a great example. They have Toei has a promotion where like episodes of Digimon Beat Break go up on YouTube for free for people to watch. So I don't know why, but Toei is starting to do that a little bit more here. We're seeing that with Viz putting more anime up online, even though Viz's localizations are complete ass. But still, we're starting to see a little bit more of that. But it's so bizarre. But I think at some point we're going to see, because free market capitalism is a thing. We're going to see more competition. I mean, in terms of manga right now, there's a new company on the rise, couple new publishers on the rise, including a fan one called Manga Mavericks that's acquiring more licenses, because there's people that are pissed off, especially when Viz like posted that video about manga piracy. It's like, mofo, you are not putting out manga that we want to buy, so we're pirating. We're not going to stop pirating until you do. So more people are stepping up and saying, okay, well, why don't we form our own publishing house and do it ourselves? So that's what people are doing. So I'm telling you, at some point, the free market is going to do its thing, and you're going to see people step up and do it themselves. I mean, in terms of buying anime products, Play Asia is a thing. There's also Big Bad Toy Store where you could get anime merch. If you really, in terms of, there's Tamashi Nations that has expanded overseas. There's it's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot easier to get anime merch now than it was like 10 years ago. If you go to like discount stores, for example, you could get Banpresto statues for like $20. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, go to like a Ross or something, and you will see like tons of Banpresto statues for cheap. So,
and you did mention,
yeah. Okay, go. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, you did mention Digimon Beat Break a while ago.
Yes, Digimon Beat Break has been fantastic. This week we got Greymon, and we got this beautiful fight here at the end of the episode between Raito and Tomoro. And oh my god, this animation is just on another level. Like, Toei is really putting the budget in for this one. Oh my god, I love this anime so much.
I haven't seen this in quite a while.
Oh my god, it's worth it. Like, we went from Digimon slave trade to Digimon Coliseum. Illegal Digimon battles.
Whoops. Just loves unmuting.
It's so beautiful. Like, like Raito's realizing, oh god, I'm a fucking dick. And he's like, yeah. Yeah.
And of course, we get Greymon.
Yeah, there's the Greymon. Yeah, Greymon. Well, I should say put in catatonic state. But god,
how did Guts get in this?
I know, he totally looks like Guts, huh?
A little shorter hair. I'm like, what the hell? What the
fuck? It does, doesn't it? Blackfield Simone, it looks so beautiful. This is just a regular episode. This is like the most recent episode. It's not a movie. It's beautiful.
They're definitely trying to make sure that Digimon comes back as a little more than kids being stranded in another world. They're trying to make it into something a bit more consequential, that not only can you end up in the digital world, but you can end up dying there as well. Whereas the other series flirted with that concept, but weren't so direct about it.
No, this is definitely direct about it. And yes, it's the white man. This is the white man running everything here. It's great, isn't it? Like, and someone pointed out that there hasn't been really any toys for Beat Break yet. And it's like, it's crazy. Usually for Digimon, they're pushing toys for it, but not with this one yet anyway.
Well, the egg thing would be really hard to create. I'm just saying. The egg thing would be really hard to make because of all the things that it has to do without it just being one of those. Remember those night lights you could touch?
Yeah.
It was like an egg shaped. It would be like that right now because like there's so much technology that has to go in to make that egg do anything other than just make noise.
Yep.
And there's no interactivity play with it. It's just a role play toy.
What? Because it's basically the egg is basically a smartphone at this point. That's what it is. It's a smartphone.
There's no screen. There's no way to interact with it unless you drastically change the design of the egg from the show. So that obviously that can't come through. But the little action figures, I completely understand people wanting those. Gekkomon's evolutions, obviously, you'd want.
Yeah. Also for Chiropomon's evolution too, because it's very Kamen Rider-esque.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of them out there that maybe they're just trying to. This is one of the things that irked me about Gavan Infinity. Like, they had toys before first episode came out, and I was like, I don't know, guys. I think you might be able to wait for episode 5 before you start putting toys out. I don't know. This is a pretty big risk, and that might be what Digimon is trying to do, is get through this first season and then start to offer merchandise, toys.
Yeah, Blackfield Simone's like an egg-shaped Tamagotchi. I could kind of see that.
Yeah, for adults, I just don't know where kids are going to have any interest in it. I'm not just speaking about American kids, like Japanese kids. Not that they have higher standards, but how do you pitch a Tamagotchi to a kid that's like 12 today? What do you do?
I hope they do a Digimon Beat Break DLC for Time Stranger. Like, it would so fit.
Yeah, no, that would probably be a DLC. Yeah, DLC non-canon crossover. Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they could
think.
do that.
Yeah, I think they should, especially with the Digimon in this season. But like a lot of people are theorizing, especially with this being like the second time we kind of had like this biomerge kind of situation. Well, in terms of Tomoro, like this kind of biomerge situation. And then earlier on in the season, it was definitely we had the fusion with the Shademon, that the megas will probably be about, we might have the return of biomerge digivolution this for Beat Break, which I really, really hope we do. I really would love to see a biomerge digivolution come back. I know that would mean like this is like the successor to Tamers. That's what this would mean if that's the case. But God, like a lot of people have been saying that that's what this really feels like, is like
Sure.
a true successor to Tamers.
Well, and even if they didn't make that like universal, the so like you didn't have everybody have to do that in order to evolve, in order to reach that level.
To get to Mega.
Right. They could go through a crest, they could go through the digi eggs, they could go through
Well, people were theorizing
DNA
that like
digivolve.
we're theorizing that that for the biomerge that the Digimon would have to eat the human, or like because right now what they have to do is they have to eat the egg to digivolve.
Oh, right. The
Digimon eat
E-pulse
egg.
charged egg. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And
well,
that like
or
when
it would have
they
to.
digivolve to ultimate, that they like it's the e-pulse like it charges the egg up even further.
Well, it could be that the human, the e-pulse, and the egg unite, so that like the character, and then it goes into their chest, not like fuses into them horrifically, but it just kind of like holographically goes inside of them.
Kind of
And
like what we
then-
saw in Tamers in a way.
Yeah, and then the Digimon is sort of like Gmod T-posing
Yeah.
as the human Gmod T-poses in front of it, and then they swoosh together.
Yeah, that's kind of like how it was with Biomerge.
Yeah, so that would make sense, that the egg would have to go into the human, and then the human would have to go into the Digimon, and then that would be the progression of how that would, because it would make the human data or more, yeah, because the egg is the data.
Yeah.
So it would make the human data, which is then compatible
With the
Digimon.
Digimon. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would make sense. Again, the biomerge digivolution wasn't a bad idea. I just think that Tamers just kind of like overdid it, like.
Yeah.
Just
But
a little too
I
much.
really want to see it for especially Makoto, because I want that complete Justimon like
Sure. The full progression.
realization. Yeah. Because let's be real, Dark Chiropamon, he looks like he belongs in the Justimon family. It just makes sense to have that bio merge digivolution for him.
One of the things I appreciate about this is that they're not just making up a whole brand new cast of Digimon, so you don't see any of the old ones. So
No,
I
that
appreciate that.
I like
Tiny
that they're bringing
Greymon
it
is here.
back.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we saw the
appreciate that.
teeny Togemon.
Yep.
We have Greymon here. We saw Tinkermon, which has been in Digimon as well, in the Digimon games, I believe. Like, I really do like that they're bringing a pre-existing Digimon here. I think it's nice, but that is not
Well,
Tai.
No, in no reality. But this Greymon has been injured, by the way.
Yeah,
See the scar?
yeah.
His stomach?
Someone was saying that that's like a mark of Edamon. That's supposed to be a throwback to that.
Okay. I don't remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I think that led to Skull Greymon. That could be.
Yeah.
But that's it's good to
Digimon
say
Beat Break
it's-
has just been so good. Like the art and animation, like as was pointed out by Black Pill Timon, it's just been so amazing. Like you could tell like Toei is just investing everything into this. I wish we would get this for Saint Seiya. That would be nice, but like it just goes to show you that Toei doesn't give a fuck about Saint Seiya, which sucks.
What a surprise. Well, we also have an update here about Fire Force.
Okay, here's what's going down with Fire Force. So Fire Force, they like the production committee's fault that this is the case, because the production committee is not giving David Productions enough episodes for this. We're only getting like there's only a few more episodes, which really, really sucks. It really fucking sucks. I hate it so much. Or at least this upcoming week, we're getting the War on Sex Appeal, which people are already losing their minds. I'm surprised we're not getting the War on reboots first, because that's the order of it. But based on the doppelgangers that we saw at the end of the episode, we should be getting the War on reboots, which would be Korono and Benimaru. I'm hoping it'll be after the War on Sex Appeal, which is already pissing off so many people. And I love it. For those of you that don't know what the War on Sex Appeal is, it's the Tamaki fight, which is basically Okubo's message to the anti-fan service people. And it is beautiful. I love it so much. I loved when I covered that. I really hope that they're going to include all of the content there, because it is the biggest FU to all the Karens and to all the puritanical mofos that were going after Okubo at the time. But if they don't include it, I'll be really sad. But yeah, I'm really hoping that we do get the war on reboots is really important as well, because the US isn't the only one going through a reboot problem. Japanese cinema is kind of going through a similar issue where it's all reboots and sequels. So yeah, or in the case of anime, it's reboots, sequels, or just straight up adaptations. So I kind of feel like that's kind of important. The other thing I think we're getting for sure, we're definitely getting the final fight for Arthur versus Dragon. And then I think after that, it's going to just go straight into the final fight with between Shimura and Yona, and then just wrap it up. It just really sucks that they're adapting 88 chapters in like 12, 13 episodes. Really sucks. That has to be this way. But considering what we're getting here, especially here, I'm David Productions. I am sorry that they did this to you. I am so sorry that the anime production committee screwed you over like this. You deserve so much better than this. Just sucks. Sucks so much.
Well, Hideki Kamiya also had some fancy words to say.
Oh yeah, because Resident Evil Requiem got Resident Evil 9/Requiem got leaked, and Kamiya was not happy.
So he says, I remember back on Resident Evil 2, I'm pretty sure its late game twist was completely spoiled by some weekly photo magazine too. For the sake of our own selfish satisfaction, you trample on the feelings of players eagerly awaiting the game, and the creators who poured their hearts into making it. It's a despicable act that destroys everyone's happiness. You deserve to die 1,000 deaths. May you be cursed and never play games again.
That is Pete
So there you go.
Kamiya.
Yeah, he's definitely big on the drama. That's for sure. If you ever wonder what guy came up with Resident Evil, that's the guy. And that's who's wishing you 1,000 deaths for spreading
I
around.
fucking love Kamiya so much. Kamiya just doesn't take any bullshit. He doesn't.
And there you go. That's who he's working on there. Of course, a lot of people have had questions about how this might end up censored or whatever, but we'll end up finding out how it turned out in the end anyway. But
yeah,
it
he's
is what
just
it
not
is, though.
happy. He's not happy
It
about
is.
the game being leaked.
no. We do have a question from Sakuramita to you, Nerdigans. She said, Sakuramita says, hey, Nerdigans, I was developing a story of a zombie-themed Precure. Any advice on the idea of mascots revive the girls from their grave to become a Precure?
There's oh my god. There's oh god, what's the name of that series? Because it is going to piss me off. Zombieland Saga. Go look at Zombieland Saga anime. Because they're zombies girls as idols. So that would be probably the best way to go about it. Is just go look at that.
Well, and with that, that's all that we have here tonight.
Well, there's also the
What I miss?
there was the Netflix situation. Netflix decided to erase the white man from JoJo, the JoJo dub.
There it is.
So basically, not only did Netflix decide to hire the pedo known as Damon Mills for this dub, they decided to get rid of the white man from it as well. So for Sandman, what he says in the sub is, what I need is the money of the white people. What the dub, he says, is to get that prize money, I'll beat them at their own game. This is woke Netflix, mind you, saying this.
Well, and we also have a bit of a trailer on that one.
Yeah, there's the dub trailer. Starring
No.
Damon Mills, by the way. And this has the dub dialogue too, so you could see what they're. I wish I had the sub side by side with it so you guys could see it a little bit better, but whatever.
There's time.
But look at the. I mean, some people are like, here's the reason. Usually I'm able to separate art from the artist, but here's where I'm going to give shit on Damon Mills. There's a double standard between Damon Mills and Vic Mignogna, where Vic Mignogna got accused of being a sex pest, but he's blacklisted. Damon Mills, on the other hand, same accusations, but guess what? He's still getting jobs. So come on. This is a load of BS. If the same standard was held to Damon Mills, then he would be blacklisted too.
Dio.
My guess is is it because he's gay? Why? Or is it because of Monica Rial and her crew doing this?
It sounds more like a Monica Rial thing because it makes the Native American character look.
No,
like
I'm talking
he's
about
greedy.
Damon Mills still having a job.
Oh.
And Vic Mignogna being blacklisted.
Yeah, that seems like their little in crowd. You can get away with whatever you want to, and they want you in the crowd. When they don't want you in, jelly beans will get you fired.
Even though you get accused of the same thing.
Yep.
It's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
I do like how the colors are like they feel a little bit like friendship is magic.
Oh, they do, yeah.
So.
Steel Ball. Well, JoJo colors are always like that, though.
Oh, I know, but like I could see like some 8-year-old girl getting confused seeing the horses on there and seeing Steel Ball Run, like, oh, this is a horse game. It's great. We ride horses. This Steel Ball Run. That sounds great. And then they open it up and it's like some guy getting shot in the back and all this other stuff, you know? Barely anything to do with the horses themselves.
I mean, look at the amazing digital circus.
Yeah, that's true. That's gonna snap a lot of heads around.
Oh God,
So.
that whole thing with that fandom is just batshit crazy. Oh my God. Between that and Gotchi Akuda, it's crazy. God. But anyways,
Miss Nerdigans, when the show is over, where do we find you?
You can find me on Nerdigans Inc., where we're covering anime and manga every day. On Patreon, patreon.com/PackerGirl, where we covered the latest episode of Vigilante Boku no Hero Academia Legals today, which was an emotional one, but man, Bones is starting to step it up a little bit. I'm going to say this. This goes to show you what happens when Bones is working on maybe like 1 or 2 projects at the same time instead of like 3 or 4. Seriously, Bones, stop pulling a JC staff and a Mappa and just go back to doing like 1 to 2 projects at a time. We're also covering Tune Into the Midnight Heart, Oshinoko. Let's see, what's the other ones I'm covering? Jujutsu Kaisen, Monosehi no Slave, Sosuno Freiren. Let's see, what's the other one off the top? Fire Force, Dead Account, and Digimon and Hell's Paradise Shigakuraku. For Bounding, I finished up an article on Oshinoko's botch localization. I'm wrapping up the one for Dead Account's botch localization. I just got to put a few more images in there, and then I got to do one for Crunchyroll's botch localization of Hanakimi. Oh my God, I got to go through the latest episode to see what's going on up in there, because Crunchyroll, your in-house localizers need to be fired. I swear to freaking God. It's just wild. Your membership fees are going up for this crap. But anyways, you can follow me on Twitter right here where we're doing where we're posting like all of our stories that we're proposing to Bounding and more. I'm probably going to send that situation about JoJo to Spencer as well. But other than that, I'm probably going to have to talk. My mom is calling me right now too, so I probably got to jump off immediately.
All right, then. Good luck. Good luck with your mom. So that's that. Miss Nerdigans is off to save the day, as you heard right there. The show's coming to an end here. We'd like to remind everybody to hit like and subscribe. Follow us over on x.com, Facebook, as well as Instagram, apparently. I didn't know we had an Instagram. Maybe you guys do. But either way, we will be back here next week with more. I like to go live probably pretty randomly to talk about Power Rangers. Sorry about that. I'd like to make it more regular, but unfortunately, Power Rangers news isn't too regular at the moment. Maybe that'll change in the future and we could start having regular discussions about it when this reboot fiasco finally gets off the ground. But for right now, things are going to be changing over on the website. You're going to see a different attitude about how we're handling things, and you're probably going to see more emphasis on how social media is played with Bounding into Comics going forward. So if you're interested in staying up to date on what's going on with us, make sure that you follow us on those previously listed platforms. And as always, guys, good luck out there. And I'll hit the button in the right place. Good luck out there.